Hari Om and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis. Let us continue our contemplation of Aparoksha Anubhuti through the day one talk given by Sri Prabhuji. Arjunji, you've been giving us your views on the questions that we have framed for day one talk. Yeah, in our last session, we covered up to the third question. So we can continue from the fourth question onwards. But before you begin, is there anything more that you would like to offer for the first three? And then you can pick your next question and you can continue.
Yes, Vijayji, what happened was I could deepen myself about my understanding about what questions were asked in the first week. And one of the deepening of the thing is why we need to study Vedic scriptures, like what are the benefits or why we need to study. So, in my opinion, it is to deliberate, discuss, and to arrive at the right understanding and knowledge of what is Satchitananda. And to realize it, one needs to be a true seeker. And in my opinion, a true seeker has to have the process and the system which is so well established as per the ancient wisdom of growth and development or evolution. So for me, the 6 pillars of ancient wisdom of growth and evolution is the one which I feel helps a lot. And this I'm sharing with an intention that is it the right thought which I'm having, or is there anything which I need to alter? And the 6 pillars of ancient wisdom of growth and evolution in my which Prabhuji had shared with me long time back was the first one is Sadguru, like whom we call it the Shrotriya Brahman Nishta Guru, and which has been explained so well in the later part of the first week, this thing by Prabhuji. And I experienced this Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru in my own life. I had been witness to Ajjaru. Ajjaru is whom Prabhuji had met long time back in Puttur and all. So I had a video which I watched where he was the Brahmanishta Guru who had realized, but had great difficulty in expressing what he had realized. But in the same platform, there is one more person who was the Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru who could even not only had experienced, but also could express and clarify and put the complex truth in a very simple manner. His name was Chandrasekhar Swami. So this was something which I experienced or I witnessed, where I could find two Brahmanishta Gurus, and one being a Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru and one being a Brahmanishta Guru. So this is what I could connect to actually. So Sadguru is the one, first one is the Sadguru, then comes the Sat Shastra, that is the scripture, and 3 Prakarana Karantas can be the scripture. Then the third one is, apart from Sadguru and Sat Shastra, is the Satsanga, a Sangha, a group of seekers who discuss on what is and negates what is not. So that is a Satsanga. And fourth one is a Shravana, listening like the shell keeping the mouth open so that the rain drop of the Swati rain can fall in it and convert into pearl. That's the kind of listening which I feel can help. And sadhana, effort or to dedicate for oneself so that he can qualify for the realization. That is the sadhana, you know. And then Sharanagati, a surrender like the way. And Sharanagati, my own experience is something like when somebody is at the back is telling when you go to a hotel or something, the security is saying that how to park the car. When we are trying to park the car, I don't trust him a lot. So I turn back again and again. When he says, take a right turn, take a left turn, come back and all. I want to be very sure that I am not bumping the car into something. So there I do not have that trust. Sharanagati means that I have complete trust in the person when he's guiding. And that's the Sharanagati in my opinion. And that is what is the Sharanagati I need to have for the Guru who is guiding me, where I completely trust and I don't have any doubt. So these are the 6 pillars, that is the Sadguru, Satshastra, then Shravana, and then Satsanga, and sadhana and sharanagati. So this is what I derived from what could be the uh, ways or qualifications for, apart from that, what has been said, the Viveka Vairagya. Apart from that, this was something which I wanted to put forth.
Excellent. Definitely, Arjunji. So it's essentially when you look at Sharanagati, how does true Sharanagati come? Only when the mind has done enough of sadhana. What kind of sadhana? Where the I is I am ready to negate the ego. So therefore the sadhana chatushtaya, which is nothing but it begins with viveka, developing the viveka, vairagya, shatsampati and mumukshatva, can only begin when there is a Sadguru who gives you the right jnana. So therefore it is the same thing and it leads to that only. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So you can please continue.
So that's what I was contemplating upon and getting it. And one more thing is, how it is spelled out? Sadhana Chatushtaya or Chatursti? How is it said?
Chatushtaya, the four pillars of sadhana.
Chatushtaya. Okay. Then also Titiksha, I was just contemplating of Titiksha. And Titiksha I related to when I had gone to Vipassana, that is the Adhitthana session, where the session of determination, when you sit down and trying to be in one posture. That also is the part of Titiksha, am I right?
Yeah, Titiksha is to develop whatever is coming, to develop the equanimous mind, to accept. Bevu Bella, night, day, success, failure, all accepting all is Titikshatva. Heat, cold.
So we can say accept as it is.
Accept, yeah, because life is full of dualities. In the duality, we choose one over the other. We have a raga and dvesha. So Titikshatva is essentially a practice to overcome the raga and dvesha.
I'm sorry, I'm making notes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Excellent. And what is the difference between Mumukshatva and Jignasu?
Mumukshatva is an inner and an honest and a true feeling for wanting to be liberated. Whereas the way in which a Jignasu, the word is used, is it's a like a philosopher. A philosopher derives intellectual pleasure out of whatever the intellectual pursuit he or she is having. So fundamentally, the I-ness, the ego is the one which is seeking, and it is seeking an intellectual pleasure now. Ultimately, in our life, it is the ego that seeks various pleasures. So there is a bodily pleasure, then there is mind-based pleasure. When I say that, oh, I enjoy that song very much, so there's a pleasure. There's a wanting to be one with that whatever that other thing that I am experiencing. So in a Jignasu, the ego is still dominant and is wanting a intellectual pleasure. So that is the general way a Jignasu, a philosopher, is used.
Okay.
Whereas someone who is wise or wisdom is beyond this ego. So in that sense, Mumukshatva is the desire to realize the truth. Like you started with saying, the purpose of Vedanta study is to realize the truth. In other words, it can be called as samvada. When there is a discussion happening, there may be questions coming your way. There may be another viewpoint coming your way. When can you accept that? When your focus is on the truth, samvada. When the vada means what? There is at least two parties. And there's a discussion happening between the two parties. And both the parties are really interested in sat, in realizing the truth of the matter, rather than vivada, which is, I am right, you are wrong, and I am here to prove that you are wrong. Then it becomes a vivada, or it can go into kutarkavada. So samvada is, the focus is on the truth. So when the focus is on the truth, then it naturally brings about an opening, right? So mumukshatva in other sense can be seen in that way also.
And Vitarkavada is what, sir?
So see this kutarka, that's what I said. Kutarka is kutarka is sometimes we use the that logic which is totally illogical, but still there is no way to kind of discuss that, right? Egg first or chicken first. And to make a point, you can use such examples. Again, they are all in the domain of I am right, you are wrong. So there is still a ego-based discussion. Whereas true Vedantic pursuit is, it is not the ego that is important, it is the truth that is important. And the ego is the offering for that yagna, actually.
Thank you, sir.
So does it mean Jignasu knows about spirituality but is not following it?
So it is like this. A Jignasu, again, let's understand it a little more. It is very easy to repeat scripture. And it is also very much possible that intellectually there is clarity that has emerged. So ask, what is Maya? Oh, Maya is the power of Brahman, which creates illusion. So it is very easy to come up with a decently sounding, reasonably correct answer when a question is asked by study, right? However, has it become a living experience is the fundamental distinction. To say that titikshatva means accept heat and cold is giving the definition. Titikshatva is accept what is coming is definition. But the moment pain comes in your life, the moment insult comes in your life, the moment something unpleasant comes, how do you deal with something that is you do not like, dvesha part? And how do you deal when something raga comes, something that you like? So how are you truly when raga and dvesha situations are coming? So in that sense, an intellectual understanding is not enough. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಪುರಾಣ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ ತಿನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. So it is in that sense. Yes, Arjunji.
I am to I'm quite clear now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. So if you feel that, the first three questions you have sufficiently given your viewpoint, you can move on to the next question.
Yeah, that is the up to duality you're talking about now.
Yeah.
The next question is what consciousness and awareness? What is consciousness? What is awareness? Is there a different distinction? If so, can I start with what is consciousness?
Sure. It's your wish, whichever way you want to begin.
Consciousness, in my opinion, is the existential nature of the existence. Is the existence actually consciousness is more like that which exists. The ultimate truth that exists is the consciousness, and awareness is the nature of that existence. Like, for example, to share about the fire and the heat. If there is no heat, the fire itself has got it doesn't exist. So the awareness of the heat, awareness of the fire is the heat part of it. So water can exist in various forms. It can exist in the form of ice. It can exist in the form of water. It can exist in the form of paper. But the watery quality of the water is what makes the water to feel that it is existing. So the awareness part can be compared to the heat or the watery nature, and the water or the fire itself is the consciousness. This is my understanding.
So there is when it comes to referring to your true nature, you also say your true nature is, or my true nature is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. In that Sat is the existence, Chit is the consciousness, Ananda is the bliss. So the word consciousness is connected with Chit. Existence is connected with Sat. So the thing that exists, the pure thing that exists is Sat, Satya. For example, ornament is made from gold. So what is it made from? Gold. Gold is that vastu from which it is made. And we can say that gold exists. So that is the existence. Water exists. So that is the existence. So that is usually connected with Sat. Whereas consciousness is connected with Chit. Chit is the ability to be conscious. So awareness is prajnana. So in that sense, how do you see the distinction there?
I'm a bit confused.
Okay. All right. Then let us listen to our other views also. Who would like to offer your view? Padmaji, Shilpaji, Shubhaji. Any one of you want to offer your view?
Awareness also means it can also be said arivu.
Arivu. In Kannada, it is arivu. Consciousness is Chaitanya. Shuddha Chaitanya. Any one of you want to offer your view?
Consciousness is state or quality of awareness. One can be aware of something without being conscious, but no one can be conscious without being aware.
Okay,
That is.
Let's digest this a little more. Can you say it again?
Yeah. Awareness can be considered as a necessary condition of consciousness.
Awareness is necessary condition of consciousness. Okay, so what you are saying is awareness is higher and consciousness comes out of awareness. If at all we have to think in that way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a state or a quality of awareness. So no one can be conscious without being aware.
No one can be conscious without being aware. Okay. So according to you, awareness is higher and consciousness is the next level quality.
No, you can only when you are aware, you can have consciousness.
Only when you're aware, you can have consciousness. Okay. But according to you, if you have to give a sentence for what is consciousness, how would you state it?
Yeah, consciousness is recognition of true self. Awareness is experience of true self.
Okay, so now you brought it in terms of experience and awareness. Okay, so consciousness you're saying is more of a intellectual recognition. Is that what it is? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, recognition, yeah.
Whereas awareness is the experience of it. That is how you are seeing it. Okay. Any other definition? Padmaji, Shilpaji, Deepaji. Deepaji, what do you think? What is consciousness?
Consciousness is an individual self itself.
The individual self is consciousness.
Physical body. It belongs to the soul.
It is not part of the physical body. It belongs to the Atman.
Yeah. Whereas awareness belongs to the physical body.
Awareness belongs to the physical body. Okay. And it's a quality that comes by the physical body by itself, is it?
Awareness, yeah, it's the quality of the physical body, sir.
Okay, so you are bringing it's a quality of the physical body. Okay.
Yeah.
Consciousness is the quality of the Atman.
Yes.
Okay, but what is consciousness? If I ask you what is consciousness, you in your answer you said, okay, one is a quality of one thing, another is a quality of another thing. That is one thing. But if at all you have to define consciousness, if you have to say in some way what is consciousness, how would you say it?
In spiritual terms, I would say it's nothing but the soul itself.
Okay.
But generally, if we speak being conscious, that is consciousness.
Being conscious. Being conscious of what?
Conscious of or being aware of what's going on.
Then are they one and the same? See, right now in these two sentences you used, they're being used synonymously. Being conscious of something, being aware of something, like you're using that in that sense. Is it not?
Yeah.
So then are they synonymous? Are they like Tanni and water?
Yes, sir.
Which means that your earlier definition, one is a quality of the Atman and another is a quality of the body, is wrong then, or it is not correct. Confusing, Deepaji?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. No problem. Shilpaji, your view?
So higher level of awareness leads to leads to pure consciousness.
High level of awareness leads to pure consciousness. Okay, so now, what is consciousness?
So, like similar to what Deepaji said, consciousness is related to soul and awareness is related to the body. So, if you can achieve a higher level of consciousness, so then that's when you feel achieve higher level of awareness is that's when you can feel pure consciousness.
Okay, when you achieve higher level of awareness. But
Awareness.
in the way in English we have been using, it's as if like awareness and consciousness are synonymous, right? Are you conscious of this? Are you conscious of that?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of this? Are you aware of that? So it seems like they're being used in a similar sense, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when you see it from that viewpoint, then are they two distinct terms with distinct one is applicable to Atman and one is applicable to only body? Or what is it?
So it's a bit difficult to explain it in English, like, it becomes difficult.
But is it, in your mind, is it two distinct things? Like for example, see, there's a concept, this is a book, and this is a mobile. Okay, so two distinct things, right?
Yes, sir.
You'll never mix up these two.
No,
You
sir.
never say, book is mobile, mobile is book. You will not say that, right?
Yes, sir.
But here, it seems to be, in the way we use in English, it seems to be indicating that, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So consciousness and awareness seems to be indicating the same thing.
Yes,
In
sir.
English, it would be sounding same, sir. But when we speak in spiritual terms, they are different. They are different. But as Shilpaji said,
it's confusing to describe.
No, sir. In spiritual terms, when the level of awareness is increased, then that pure awareness is the consciousness itself.
And you can say exactly what you said. When your level of consciousness is increased, then you are pure awareness. You can increase your level of awareness, you can increase your level of consciousness.
But Atman is just ease, sir. How can we increase it?
Excellent. So then what spiritually then is consciousness and awareness two distinct words, two different words with different meanings?
They are one and the same, sir, but we need to reach there.
That's a separate topic altogether. Right now, our focus is on consciousness and awareness. Are they different terms? And what is the meaning of it? Yeah, Padmaji, go ahead.
Yeah, so sir, how I understand is consciousness is of the soul, like everyone else said. Awareness is unique to you, is something I can say. because consciousness is universal. Consciousness is universal, but awareness is something unique to you. Like you are conscious, but you may not be necessarily aware of see, we do many things every day, but we may not do it in complete awareness of what we are doing. So like everyone else said, as you become more and more aware in your day-to-day situations or scenarios, it will enable you, or it will help you to reach the high pure awareness state, and in that pure awareness you can see the pure consciousness. Is how I experience, I see it. I mean, I understand it. So I feel that in English, if you say consciousness and awareness, they are used interchangeably. But if you see from Vedanta standpoint, I think that is how I can describe it. Like how I can say it is, awareness is unique to you, and consciousness is universal. Pure awareness is Shuddha Chaitanya, not sir, right?
Yeah. So now when you say consciousness is universal, awareness is individual.
No, it is unique to you because it's your ability to know. For example, okay, say how do I, if I have to give an example, consciousness, for example, the sun and its light. That is one of the example of consciousness. Like there is no break in it, okay? Like it is continuous, right?
So
it
light is intrinsic nature of sun.
Yeah, that's what. So it is continuous. There is no break in it. However, in awareness, I'm not saying there is a break in it, but awareness is something, how do I say it, sir, in English? Like, you can be aware of what you're doing, but you can also be not aware of what you're doing, right?
So, okay, let's just pause that sentence. You can be conscious of what you're doing. You can also be not conscious of what you're doing. We use that, no? Oh, it's a very
That is what I'm saying, sir. In English, it is used interchangeably, but I don't think they are fully one and the same thing. Like, you can have various levels of awareness. Again, you may say there are various levels of consciousness also. Yeah, there are. In English, there is. But I feel that consciousness is like, okay, Brahman is consciousness. So there is no break in that. It is always there. It's the I don't know how to explain it in English, sir.
Let's pick the Vedanta words. Let's pick the Vedanta words. Consciousness in Vedanta is Chitta. Okay? Chit is the pure consciousness, right?
Yes.
And Prajnana is the pure awareness.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the Chitta and Prajnana, okay? Both are nothing but pointers to you. There is only one. There are no two, right?
Yeah, correct.
So there is only that divine consciousness, divine awareness, in terms of referring to the that which is by itself. Whatever we call as that which is by itself. Like in the example of the ornament and the gold, ornaments are made of gold. Gold is that object that has enabled the ornaments to be made, right? But in the ornament, you cannot say, now look, see, I hope you're seeing my video. My left hand is ornament, and look here, I separated, and this is gold. There is no ornament without gold.
Correct. It's the existential thing about that ornament.
Right? The very existence of ornament is because of gold.
Correct.
The very existence of the stream of the stream or river or ocean is water. So that which brings the whatever the other quality to that object is that existential thing. It is there. It is. So likewise, what is that which is giving all this changes that appears and disappears? What is the vastu? What is the object? What is the thing which is appearing in all these shapes and forms? That is unnameable. However, for the domain of discussion, when you see that in function, you are able to experience things because there is an intrinsic ability to be conscious of whatever that is happening, right? So you are able to see something. You see this book. Who is seeing the book? Who is seeing the book? Is it the eyes? Is it the brain? Is it the mind?
It is beyond all this.
Beyond all this. So there is an intrinsic ability to see, to recognize, to become aware of the meaning. So your experience of the world, when you say I'm experiencing the world, how are you truly experiencing the world? You're ultimately experiencing the world in terms of name and form. So ultimately, it is in the mind in which you give a name to a form that is appearing in the mind. But
it is interpreted in the mind.
Interpreted in the mind, right? The intrinsic power to know, that knowingness, that knowing, I know this. Now I understand this. Your brain cannot say that. The book will never say that, oh, I know you. You are that Jnana Swarupa. You are the one who is the embodiment of, like how the light cannot be separated from the sun. Your very nature, your intrinsic nature is that ability to have that consciousness. Again, it is a usage of the English. But
that's what I'm saying, sir. Like what you said just now, ability of the consciousness, you can say it's the ability to know, right?
Correct, right? So
that is what I'm saying is awareness.
Is you. Both are pointers to you only. In the usage of English, we'll come to that part next. Consciousness, chit. In the Sat, Chit and Ananda, though there seems to be 3 words, all the 3 are pointers to you. Sat is the existence. You know you exist. Okay. So I is intrinsic. That existence is intrinsic. Gold is intrinsic. Water is intrinsic. Like that, Atman is intrinsic. It exists. When I use the word it exists as if, I am separate from it. No, that is not the intention. I exist, therefore, I exist. That existential that exists is I, Sat. And how does it exist? It exists. There is no explanation for that. It exists. No reason, no way to prove you do not exist. You exist. And there is no other explanation beyond that. I exist. Then that existence, that vastu that exists, that I exist, what is the quality of it? It is not simply it is there as a rock which neither talks or has at least it doesn't exhibit any kind of a chetana or movement or activity, right? Seems to exist as a jada, whereas your nature, that I, it is Chet. It is the very nature of consciousness. So it is a intelligence. All right. So that I is intelligence, pure intelligence. Now that pure intelligence is referred by even awareness, consciousness.
Shuddha Chaitanya.
Shuddha Chaitanya. Okay. Or Prajnanam Brahma. Mahavakya, you've heard. Prajnana. Okay. Prajnana Brahma. So, Sat is your existential nature, isness. And that I am conscious of myself. I am aware of myself. You can use it in both the ways. You know you exist. So there is a intrinsic quality of knowing. You are not only aware of other things, you not only can talk about other things which seem to be apparently separate from you. That apparent separation is an illusion that has a separate discussion. But even in that apparent separation, you can discuss, you can talk about other things, but you're intrinsically aware of your own existence. So therefore, I am. That amness. See, there is an I, and if that I cannot recognize itself, then there cannot be a consciousness. No, I exist, but somebody has to recognize that. No, I exist. Who is able to recognize that? You only. And when you're recognizing, that is your amness. I am. So Sat and Chit are reference to the I and the am. Because I is independent. I is kind of like pure gold. So the am is the gold recognizing I am gold. So it's a example. So gold doesn't recognize, but in your case, you recognize I exist. So I is the pure existence. That pure existence is Jnana Swarupa. And that Jnana is the am. So you're aware, you're conscious of your own existence.
So, sir, in that sense, you're saying awareness and consciousness is the same, right? There is no distinction.
At the fundamental level, there is no difference.
Okay. Then if I say, I become aware of my thoughts, or I become aware of my emotions in any particular situation, that becoming aware is different from this awareness that we are talking about. Is it right?
Because, what is becoming aware of pain? It is as if you're recognizing something that is coming and going through the instrument called mind, right?
And this, when I say I'm aware of my feelings or my emotions or something as something, then I am also bringing in the sense organs, right? Whereas this awareness has got nothing to do with those things.
Yeah, you exist even without the sense organs.
Correct.
Sense organs are like the shirt you are wearing, right? So, however, to be aware of your own self, you don't need sense organs. You are aware of yourself not because of your sense organs. Awareness,
it is intuitive.
That is aparoksha anubhuti. Right? So
yeah, I know it's there. I don't know how to explain that it's there, but it's there.
And I know again there the sentence is I know it's there brings a duality.
Correct.
I know I am there, and I know I am there needs no further explanation. I know I exist. I know. So see, I know I exist. I know. So that knowingness is also intrinsic. Existence is also intrinsic.
Sir, could you like summarize this and put it in the group in words? Because I think this is the second or third time that we are coming to this topic, and yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, the consciousness and the awareness thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So at a fundamental level, both are nothing but pointers to you. Words are always pointers to you. Word is not, the definition of the word is not who you are. The one who is becoming aware, one who is becoming conscious of the meaning is you, right? So that you is referred by both these words. But in usage terms, there is differences. For example, modern science, one of the viewpoint of the modern science is the body exists. So there is a brain, and somehow through a body and the brain working, consciousness arises, is the viewpoint of the modern science. Whereas Vedanta begins with Shuddha Chaitanya. Consciousness is the beginning, and consciousness shines through the mind and body. Mind and body are nothing but the changing aspects of this Shuddha Chaitanya, or this pure awareness. This pure awareness, why we put the distinction pure awareness, pure consciousness? Exactly for the reason that you mentioned just now. We also use it in terms of, are you conscious what you're doing?
Are you aware? Yeah.
Are you aware of what you're doing, right? So it is with reference to there is you and something else, right? Whereas the moment we put the adjective pure, it means it is the Nirguna Brahman. So you are there in the pure form, Nirguna Brahma. So the same Nirguna Brahma manifests as a Saguna Brahma. So the Saguna is already inherent in the Nirguna. And when it expresses, you then cognize. It is like the classical example we can give is, there is a person sitting, in still, and he is on the stage. All of us are, you enter the hall and, you see that there is a person sitting in some big chair and other people are sitting. And you see that person, okay, so somebody is sitting there. You don't know. You have not read about that program. You're wondering, who that is, why that person is sitting there. And that person is sitting there with some unusual dress. You're wondering. And then somebody is on the mic and saying that, now I welcome our great dancer, Birju Maharaj. And I welcome, and then go and put the hara turai. You still are wondering, dancer. Let's say you have never known a dance. For the first time, you're a child. You come and sat. You're sitting, dancer. Oh, he only stood up. And now all that happens, and then they say, now let's enjoy the dance of Birju Maharaj. Now everybody goes out and suddenly only Birju Maharaj is there. And then there is some music that begins. And then suddenly that Birju Maharaj comes into life in a different way. Now as a child you recognize, this is dance. So where was the dance before? In Birju Maharaj. Dance and the dancer are not two. Dance is intrinsic to the dancer. But till the dance was recognized, you thought of Birju Maharaj as only, some person. You didn't know what is dance. You thought Birju Maharaj, like anybody else. Now you can say, this is dancer, and this is the dance that the dancer is exhibiting. But they are not two. So in that sense, pure consciousness, pure awareness is Birju Maharaj, is the dancer, is the Shuddha Chaitanya, is the pure Atma, Paramatma. These are all different words. Brahman, Shiva. And the dance of the dancer is world. And that Shivatva, or that pure consciousness, or Shuddha Chaitanya, or that awareness, when it shines through your mind and body, you recognize the dance. And apparently, you think I am separate from that pure consciousness or pure awareness, and I am operating through this mind and body. So that reflection, that pure I only is reflecting in the surface called mind. And there is an illusion of an ego, and that ego comes and says, I am experiencing the world, and I am going through sorrow. So all that illusion is created in this reflection business. But the reflection is the illusion. The reflection is not reality. The only reality is the pure consciousness. However, the reflection gets into a small identity. So the removal of the small identity is through the right vichara. And the small identity, when it is removed, it also takes the larger identity. It becomes a larger identity because there is no taking. It recognizes its larger identity. And now, there is enjoyment of the dancer and the dance, both, because they are not different.
Merge, they get merged.
Yeah, because there is no separation. In the first place, there was no separation. Reflection can never be true.
Correct.
Reflection is only an appearance. So the I as a separate entity never existed in the first place. Has never been true, has never been real. Body
it's only the creation of the mind.
It is just an apparent creation. Right? In the apparent creation, we get into this, I am conscious of something, I'm aware of something, I'm not aware of something, I'm not conscious of something. So all this we use interchangeably. So from a pure Shuddha Jnana standpoint, consciousness and awareness are nothing but pointers to you. Shuddha Chaitanya, Prajnana. I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am Shuddha Chaitanya. I am pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupi. Or the other Mahavakya, Prajnanam Brahma. However, different masters also refer to consciousness and awareness to refer to, for example, Nisargadatta Maharaj uses, if my memory serves me right, refers to the Nirguna Brahman as consciousness. So in that sense, there is a distinction that, or maybe it is awareness. Yeah, it is. I think he uses awareness to refer to Nirguna Brahman. Is this bringing clarity?
So the distinction of Chaitanya and awareness is Chaitanya is the consciousness of the Shuddha Chaitanya, and awareness is the Prajnana or the Arivu, what we call as. Am I right?
Yeah. So are they referring to two distinct qualities? No, they are not referring to two distinct qualities. They are not different qualities. For example, form is a quality of the fire, heat is a quality of the fire, right? But you cannot mix up heat and form as same quality. Yeah, they are different qualities, right? of the same thing called fire. That fire has form and heat intrinsically. So you can say there are two distinct qualities which are intrinsic. Its swabhava is form and heat. We can say that. Correct? Like that, consciousness and awareness are not like two distinct qualities.
It's the swabhava of consciousness.
Is the swabhava of the awareness is another way of saying. So awareness and consciousness, both are pointers to you, the self. And the qualities of the self is Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat is the existence. I exist. I am conscious, I am aware of my existence, of my own existence. So I am. And the recognition that I am unlimited. So I exist by myself, and I do not need, I am not gaining anything, losing anything in this dance called the world. I am actually unlimited. I have no boundary. I am the smaller than the smallest. I am larger than the largest. So Ananta. See, infinite can be thought of as something that is beyond everything, bigger than everything, or smaller than everything. Both are in a way reference to zero or infinite. In one sense, both cannot be conceptualized. So both are pointed to the same. So in that sense, Ananda is your intrinsic another quality that can be identified. So in that sense, consciousness and awareness are not two distinct qualities there.
Sir, I have one more question. When we talk of, or when science talks of the levels of consciousness, right? Where subconscious, unconscious, all this, is it only relating to the mind, right? It has got no mention or this thing in the Vedanta, is it?
Correct. In the current modern science, see, modern science has not yet arrived at the source of this whole thing, which is consciousness. In the modern science, the definition of consciousness is still being explored. So, for example, there is this classical statement, I think, therefore I exist. So, you're saying that I exist only because I think. So, if I'm not thinking, I don't exist. So, indeed, I'm not thinking, so I'm not existing. Is the logical inference, right?
Yeah, that's why, I mean, human beings are essentially conscious, but then there are rest which are not considered as conscious, right, from scientific perspective.
So, because science is thinking of consciousness as coming out of matter. So, it is essentially the distinction between what comes first, matter first or consciousness first. The modern science starts from the matter and is trying to go to the, arriving at the consciousness as if it's a byproduct of the matter. So, they're giving a permanency to the matter. Whereas Vedanta begins from you, consciousness. And it gives a different model that what you call as matter is an appearance in the consciousness. What you call as matter is nothing but an appearance in the pure awareness.
It's exactly opposite.
Yes. Because it starts from you. Yeah.
Where the science ends, Vedanta begins.
Yeah.
Where the science ends, the Vedanta begins. Another way of looking at it, Arjunji, see, both of them are trying to explain this world that we live in.
The existence.
See, there are some fundamental questions, right? I, the world, and God. Both are trying to explain the same thing. Who am I? What is this world? What is the nature of this world? And who is this God? This is what both are essentially trying to find out. But the journey of science is matter-based. It looks at the world of the perception, which is available to the five senses. And it says there's an objective world. See, all the sciences that we read, just notice the way the science laws are formulated. How does it start? What is Newton's first law? A body which is in motion or at rest continues to be so unless it is acted upon by a force. So it's a statement which is as if it is independent of you. So it is like somebody says, I close my eyes, I am sleeping, but the world is going on. Okay. So there is a belief system in the science that the world is actually going on when I close my eyes. So there's an independent existence given to the world. Because, that is how the apparent reality of the world, right? I wake up, I see the tree has grown. Oh, I was not watching the tree grow, but the tree grew. So see, it happened even when I went to sleep. So there's an apparent illusion that the world is by itself. Matter exists by itself is the viewpoint. Whereas Vedanta, first and foremost, recognizes it is also a model of this entirety only. Science is also trying to build a model of this entirety. Vedanta is also a model of the entirety. A model. Vedanta is not it. Vedanta is a model so that you and I can discuss, understand. But what is the starting point of Vedanta? Vedanta, first and foremost, recognizes you. There is no world without you. When have you ever seen the world without you? Everything that you have ever known, ever experienced, ever talked about, ever thought about is always is within you. You are the one who's giving meaning and purpose to this world. The way you say is the way you interact with the world. World is a lousy place. I have to discard this. I have to kill this. So then you go after killing. So you are the one who's creating your conscious experience. Whether it is your the what you call as the the day experience, or your conscious experience, or your night experience, which is your dream experience, both are because of your presence. Nothing ever you've seen outside of you. So this is the fundamental viewpoint with which Vedanta begins, because it recognizes your presence first and foremost. And then it gives a model of, okay, so then how this world has come about. So the world, the ornament is not the primary thing, right? Gold is the primary thing. From the gold, ornaments can be made. Water is primary, then the river. But the modern science makes river as the fundamental and then water as byproduct of river. I mean, I'm not saying in the case of river and water, that is what science is saying, but giving an analogy. So in that sense, it is not, one ends and another begins. It is, I can probably say both are constructing the model, but one is an incomplete model at this point of time. Another one is a comprehensive model. Because when you are taken out of the equation, trying to define the world without you, the conscious observer, what is the meaning in that? The Newton's first law or any law, what is the meaning of that? How can it exist without you, the conscious being, who is aware, who is conscious of that law? how can it exist without you? So in that sense, Vedanta is a comprehensive model which helps you to understand the reality as is. It recognizes you, Shuddha Chaitanya. You are that uncontaminated, pure existence. And in that pure existence, then how has this world come about? Oh, it is very much like how your dream. How did your dream world come about? Because that is the intrinsic nature of you. What? The transformation through the energy. Energy is intrinsic in you. So Shuddha Chaitanya means that Shuddha Chaitanya means that energy, that Shiva and Shakti are intrinsic. They are one. And the dance of that Shiva is the Shakti. And that dance, how does the dance manifest? Because that Maya, which is the source of this dance, is also inherent in you. Dance is inherent in the dancer. You don't see it when he's just sitting. Birju Maharaj is sitting, you don't see it. When Birju Maharaj dance, oh wow. So Shiva is pure consciousness. Shiva's dance is Natarajanartana. So
Sir,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, so I have a question relating to the example that you gave of that tree example where you gave. So how do we make sense of that growth of the tree in Vedanta?
How do you make sense of in your dream, you're running, you're screaming, you're shouting, you're fighting, and there are objects coming up and going down. In your dream also, things are moving. Things are not static. See, if somebody is just sitting, you don't call it a dance, no. You call it a dance when there is a movement, no. In your dream also there is movement. How do you explain that movement in dream? Because it is
Can you give an example like
sure. See,
I don't know.
energy is inherent, right? Energy is movement of consciousness is energy. Movement in consciousness is energy. If energy is static, it is pure consciousness. Okay, but energy in motion is this world. So you went to the sleep with a deeply held belief that the world is real and there is growth that happens. That very illusion is the source of this growth.
Okay.
The very illusion that my son is growing is the illusion that is what makes you notice his outer appearance. Who you call as your son is Shuddha Chaitanya, and Shuddha Chaitanya is neither growing nor decaying. But the Shuddha Chaitanya's energy, the energy part, the lower nature of the Shuddha Chaitanya, that appears as the body, and that appears to grow because there is a belief system. Karana, the fundamental Karana. The Maya Shakti is the fundamental Karana, no? So the Maya Shakti, the illusory power of this Shuddha Chaitanya. And that brings all this great magic. So fundamentally there is energy, and energy is in motion. And as the energy is in motion, we are, in other words, in different states of vibration, it appears. Because when we use the word appears, where is it appearing?
Within me only.
We mostly notice it through the eyes. What are we noticing through the eyes? We are noticing the form, right?
Yeah.
So now let's take the example of the fire. Fire appears. When I say that, how does it appear? Oh, I see through the eyes, there is a form of the fire.
And I feel it through the heat.
But when you close your eyes, you still can feel the appearance of the fire through the heat.
Correct.
So heat is another way through which the fire appears to you. Then what we can say is the form that can be noticed through the sense organ called eye. Then the form that can be noticed through the sense organ called touch, because the heat is a form that is appearing to the touch, right? But it is not a visual form. It is a touch form. It's a form of the touch. But that is also form. The sound is also a form. Why? Because ultimately all of these, when they come into you, they create a certain form in your mind. Right? They give a perception of something. So they give a perception of something. Oh, I am feeling the heat. How are you feeling the heat? You feel heat in reference to something else which is cold. There is nothing that you can feel by itself. You always feel it in contrast to something. You're seeing a form because you're seeing a book. How are you seeing the book that is in my hand? Because of the space around it. In contrast to the space, you see this book. So only noticing this and not noticing this is what makes you feel, oh, book exists by itself. But book doesn't exist by itself. Book is held in the space. And the book is not by itself. Book is held by the pages. Pages are not by themselves. Pages are because of the tree. Trees are not by themselves. Trees are because of the molecules that are made up of. Molecules are not by themselves. Molecules are because of the atom. Atoms are not by themselves. Atoms are nothing but energy in a certain state of vibration. Now, what you are experiencing as this book is nothing but the energy at the most fundamental level is what you are experiencing. For that energy, you're giving a name called book. For that energy that you're giving a name called space. Space is also energy. What you call as the space is also energy. You're giving it a name called space, book, heat, light, magnetic energy, electrical energy, kinetic energy, potential energy. You're giving it different names to the same. So the electrical energy that you are able to see in your light is not by itself. It is coming from, that main power station, no? And the main power station is creating it from some, say, for example, it's a hydel energy. It's a water energy. So it's coming from the water, no? And water is coming through this entire cycle, no? From where this cycle is happening. So in every object, at every instant, totality is only there. This is the fundamental model of Vedanta. That Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Totality is the only reality. But through our limited sense perception, we are breaking. And we are identifying and getting identified as myself as that. I am so painful. I am so sad. So, sadness is an appearance of an energy. So, some energy that is appearing and you're giving it a label called sadness. And you're getting identified deeply as, I am sadness. I am angry. So the appearance of the energy, when you are noticing the appearance, then you use these words. I am conscious of, I am conscious, or I am aware of. right? That very recognition should liberate you. See the nature of it. I am noticing the pain. That itself is liberating. Why? I am noticing the pain. So pain cannot be you. I am must be you. I am noticing sadness. Right? So the very act of conscious, the very usage, I'm conscious of something, I'm aware of something, must tell you that you are something different from what you are aware of, what you are conscious of. So therefore, coming back, when we want to define consciousness and awareness as the pure self, it is that Jnana Swarupa is your consciousness or your awareness. Shuddha Chaitanya, Prajnana is the Jnana Swarupa. But Chaitanya is also used in the sense of the movement of, see, it's all Chaitanya Swarupa. The world is nothing but Chaitanya Swarupa. So one of the aspect of this Chaitanya is continuous transformation. In its energy form, it is continuous transformation. You don't call it as a dream when it is a snapshot, right? A picture is not what you call as a dream. In my dream, everything was frozen. That is not what a dream is, right? A dream is also movement, right? There's a stream of movement. So that is also Chaitanya. The Chaitanya Swarupa. So Chaitanya, because what is giving that energy for that transformation is your own existence. And in your existence, that Chaitanya is there. That energy is there. So in that sense, Chaitanya is used as the energy aspect of you. And the Jnana aspect of you is the Prajnana, the awareness. Is this bringing clarity?
Yes, sir. Yeah, but I'll see the today's video again, sir, completely. I want to.
Yeah. Arjunji,
now couple of things. One is, see, I heard the talk of Prabhuji, which can be a part of next week discussion also, if the time is not there. He said about Chit, Chiti, Chaitanya, Chetana, and Chetana, and Chitta. Okay. In the last week's talk in the conference of Meenakshi had called him. So now I want to know Chaitanya, Chit, Chiti, and Chetana. These are the various forms of the higher energy to lower energy. Am I right?
Yeah. See, it's a matter of, for the sake of understanding, it's a matter of recognition as lower, higher.
Mm-hmm.
So what is lower fundamentally? That which is not permanent. What is higher? That which is permanent. That which is not undergoing transformation. That which is, it by itself is not undergoing transformation. That which is purely there. Gold cannot be made more gold or less gold. Gold is gold.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is pure. But I cannot show you that pure gold. I cannot show you pure water. I cannot show you the pure self as a separate thing from everything else that is there. So for the sake of human understanding, we bring this distinction. So Vedanta is all about the only reality that Vedanta wants us to bring to is that all is Brahman, Prajnanam Brahma, that this entire existence is nothing but one reality. That's the intuitive experience that Vedanta wants us to have, because that is the end of suffering. So therefore, to bring that awareness, it first helps us to understand the reality by fragmenting it. Vedanta the intention of introducing the word Maya, Brahman, Chit, Chitta, all these terms are introduced in Vedanta not to fragment it, but to gain clarity about a certain aspect of the reality, and then it puts it all together.
So to make the complex to simple, and then simple will become the will give the understanding of the complex.
Yeah, to draw an analogy, right? See, for example, when somebody is introduced to a new machine, they first see the whole machine.
Correct.
You know, they see the car. Wow, what a wonderful thing. Then they start asking, how does it work? So now, you know, I cannot say that it works because of the engine. What is the use of an engine without the wheel? What is the use of the wheel without the steering? What is the use of the steering without the battery? So the whole thing is because of that, the car works the way it does, what it does. But somebody is interested to know how does it work. Then we have to remove and say, these are the parts. Part by part, we have to explain. And then we have to put it together to make it car, right? So the car is the only reality. Car cannot be there, or the car is not there if the engine is not there, if the wheel is not there, if the steering is not there. All this put together is what is car. Car by itself doesn't exist, right? Car is in one sense a composition of all these parts also. But the car exists in the sense that car is pure. Car exists by itself. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? So in that sense, the totality is the only reality. However, to understand, we break it into parts.
So what I have just written on something is Chaitanya, okay, that which knows everything, through which all knowing occurs. I, the knower, knows it not, like the eye cannot see. So this is what I have described as Chaitanya and my own view of Chaitanya. Because the moment I say I understand Chaitanya, that means I lost the understanding of Chaitanya.
I am Chaitanya Swarupa. I am.
But the moment I give words and meanings to it, I have lost the essence of it. Okay, I need to go beyond that. That's Apruksha Anubhuti, that is the intuitive experience, is something which can lead me to the Chaitanya. And the moment I say that I understood this, then I lost it.
So the moment we say I understand something, who is the one who is understanding? And typically it is a concept in the mind.
Mind, correct.
So the ego entity is who we become. So for example, did you understand the first law of Newton? You know, when you ask a student and the student gives the right answer, everybody claps. Another student and that person doesn't answer. And that other person says that, oh, science is so boring. So science is really boring. So there are two distinct identities. There is a science student who understands. There is a non-science student who says, I don't understand, right? So like that, in our mind, we create these illusory ego entities. And the illusory ego entity is the one which claims, I understand, I don't understand.
So I think as Padmaji said, I need to go through it again to decipher and soak it. And one more thing is, as I think Padmaji only said, it's been explained already many times, but still I do not get it. You know, like in the sense Chaitanya has been explained in various forms, but still I'm not getting it.
So therefore, you know, all these are pointers. Remember, all these are pointers. So they're all pointing at you. So when you recognize yourself, like in the dream, you have the ability to create an entire world which is in continuous motion. It is not that you are having to think about it and you are having to do something about it. That's intrinsic. Sun doesn't have to put an effort at all to give out light. It is intrinsic.
One more thing, my suggestion is this whole thing, when we do this, what I'm thinking is I should not keep anything for the next half an hour and just be in the meditation of all these things what has been said. So that in that meditation, things will seep in. That's my own my own thought about this whole class, Usually what happens is after this, I have got a schedule and I run to that schedule. So instead of that, if I sit for half an hour and just allow myself to meditate, just to meditate without having any thoughts, one by one, everything will start occurring.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. Now.
Just stay with it. Just stay with that. Whatever the question, then it starts dissipating, and the light shines as it dissipates. Like going back to your Vipassana experience, you're simply watching the sensations.
Correct.
Now the sensations come and go, so they dissipate. So from where are they coming and to where are they dissipating? So the origin and the termination is the same. From where they arose and to where they culminate, it's the same. And that, whatever I just now said as the same, is who you are. And that you is not modifying. But the sensations are, when you interpret it through the instrument of mind, you can give that sensation different labels. This is pain, this is hunger, this is thirst. So these are all coming and going aspects. And how are they coming and going? What is the source of that coming and going? So if something is changing, what is the source of that which is changing? How is that the changing thing is appearing? That is also you only. So recognize yourself as that pure, as well as the one to which you are giving the names and the forms. You give names and the forms just to play in the world. No other greater purpose. Was it too much today?
No, too deep, not too much. Too deep and really good. Until we don't deepen it, how do we get it?
Yeah.
Actually, it is putting me into silence.
All right. Shall we end our today's session?
One minute. Can you be there, sir? If you don't mind.
Where? Be where?
Vinayji, something came. Yeah, thank you. Because today evening, I am having a bhajan, this thing. We are having a bhajan group. We found a bhajan group.
Excellent.
And we are all going to have the singing session in the evening at 6 o'clock. I want to put this quote.
Certainly. I will share it as is in the group also.
Yeah. I took a snapshot of this.
Yes, sir. Please share this in the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I've already put it in the group.
And also one more thing, last thing which I wanted to share with you as you are going through the thing. I wrote somewhere. Okay, so I wrote somewhere. Jignasu and Mumukshatva. You know, when you shared, the Jignasu is the concept of the mind, and it is more like expanding the ego without consciously being aware that I'm expanding the ego. Mumukshatva is diminishing the ego by getting deeper into the understanding of Satchitananda and or exploring and going towards that. So one is expanding the ego, and one is diminishing the ego. That's what I just got as a thought.
Yeah. So both are valid approaches. You know, when you expand the ego to encompass everything, that is also mukti. When you diminish the ego to negate everything, that is also mukti.
But expansion of ego is like conquering the infinite, which can't be possible.
Which is, yeah. So when that is realized, then the ego's dance has to stop.
Yeah.
So in that sense, ego becomes all expansive.
Absolutely.
So only in the dropping. Yeah, Padmaji?
It's like the point of surrender, no, sir? Like you are so helpless, like there is no other way but to, like that.
Yeah. That is the easiest path. Because expansion, all-encompassing expansion, which is in one sense the modern science pursuit, right? Like, you know, it's a matter-based viewpoint of the world, is impossible. Padmaji, you know, who was guiding us with the prayer?
No, sir, it was Saravananji, but I will do. Not a problem.
Yeah.
He's not there. No? Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totality remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanenbadu nanalla, ideha manabuddhi nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. I am pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupi. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satya Darshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is recognition of truth. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. We worship the three-eyed one, who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, peaceful. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hari Om, sir. Thank you. Hari Om, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next week, let us begin with, if we have the session, right? I may be out of station, but if we have the session, we can begin with each one of us briefly telling consciousness and awareness. Yeah, so
Okay.
let each one, maybe you can use this week.
Yeah, to contemplate.
Yeah,
Yes,
looks
sir.
like it is something that probably needs still some more clarity to express. I know
Yeah.
it is, all of you are feeling it, but it is the expression, that part which we can work on.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Hari Om. Thank you, sir. Thank you.